Hello, John from Yin Yang Gemini. Thank you for watching. Just a tiny bit of commentary on episode 3, series 10 of Doctor Who called Thin Ice. I have to admit, I was half expecting some sort of Ice Warrior Martian sort of thing. Didn't happen. Not really disappointed by it. I do have to say, it was a pleasant departure from the sort of the first couple episodes of this season. I was have a little bit more hope again. It just really seemed like Peter Capaldi was kind of falling into the sort of Colin Baker trap, whereas we got a lot of potential, just didn't work out well. At least with Peter Capaldi, he doesn't have the unfortunate wardrobe choices. Um, but yeah, it's like I really have seen in season 8 and the first couple episodes of now series 10, it just really seemed like he was performing above the level of his writing, the writing that he's gotten, I should say. So it was really nice in Thin Ice to see just a good episode so far this series. And it's nice that it's now early as opposed to towards the end again. So there's a few things to point out with it. I thought it was really cool that I just blatantly put out there, hey, you know what? We noticed Bill's not white, and brought up the very good thing. Oh, if we're going to go back in the past, not being white might be a problem. Blatantly said history's whitewashing, which I thought was pretty cool. So those sort of points, which were realistic if we're talking about now taking people back and forwards through time and in space and all this other stuff, especially now that we're more validating of the fact that people of color exist, and are people too, and we can put them in places of being a role model and having fun in time and space and the universe too. They did never really brought it up with Martha. Like, I think, if I remember correctly, the biggest thing they brought up with Martha in that was the whole Dark Lady reference for Shakespeare's sonnets. That was like the biggest thing they brought up for it, and it was sort of like, I mean, I do enjoy and miss the sort of adventure of the week, not really having to have too much of a point as much as just kind of having fun and solving these mysteries and all that other stuff. But it was nice to kind of have a little bit of both, to kind of have a monster of the week and not have it be sort of trope, to make some good social points in it. The whole talking about how you judge a society isn't by its industry, but how it treats its people, including what would be considered the lowest among them. Those are awesome points. And I thought it was well done. So it was really nice to see just a flat-out good episode with some funny lines, some funny dialogue. The Doctor's kind of a little over the place. He's talking about how it's cool with, some people are kind of cons or thieves, and he does stuff too, and he's cool with little kids, and makes some good points to Bill. And, it has that sort of, oh, I'm going to make this big point about not having the luxury of outrage. I'm going to make this big point about having it where we need to be cool, we need to be charming, we're not going to get anywhere with getting all ticked off. And then he holds out and punches the dude for being a massive racist, and that's how they figured out he was human, was because of that. Oh, that was pretty funny. I like that. I like the point that it was, it kind of skimmed a little bit of that Star Trek 4, we're going to free the whales sort of thing. It didn't have the huge import of, saving the Earth with it, but it was kind of, we're going to free the whales kind of thing, which was nice. And I think one of the biggest things that I really liked from it was, and I know I brought this off earlier too, even in the first season where the Doctor's Bill's tutor and all that. Someone's saying hello. No? Okay. Oh, hello. There's, yes. Cats. Um, and tutor and everything, but, I think it really sort of solidified it in this episode where it was, I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to talk about you in terms of, talk to you, I should say, in terms of ways to think, um, perspectives to look at. I'm your teacher. It really reminded me of Leela, which I thought was a really cool relationship because here, they have the doctor and they have, this woman who, for what, mid late 70s is, fairly scantily clad, and I'm sure there was all sort. If there would have been an internet, then there would have been all sorts of questionable photoshopping and all sorts of wankery commentary on whatever websites and YouTube videos and all that other stuff. Whatever the 70s equivalent of masturbatorial fantasies, I'm sure would have been, were rampant when Leela was the companion. But it was, no, I'm your teacher. I'm going to teach you about humanity in the past and how to think and how to be, properly civilized. Not civilized in terms of, what we think of manifest destiny and, oh, we're going to take over this land. Oh, excuse me, naked savages who, are no threat to us, but we're going to exterminate your entire way of life anyway. Not that sort of civilization, but actually civilized, critical thinking, science, appreciation for art, you know, um, ethics, morality, and in a truer sense of it. Kind of going back to that, not that Bill is as sort of culturally devolved as sort of Leela's people were, um, but almost sort of like a next step up, and then I don't know, kind of breaking down some of the social things that we might take for granted now and seeing things a little differently, but still having that role. There's no sort of, you know, questioning about, and what was it, the words of, I think Peter Davison when he was a fifth daughter, making sure there's no sort of hanky-panky going around. We've had so often with the, well, they won't they, and everything with Rose, and it was nice when Donna was there because they were just sort of friends, and that was cool. It was nice when Amy had Rory because it was just sort of like, all right, now we're going to seriously be buddies, and all that. But I mean, it's kind of nice to have just a companion, someone to. I do tend to like the sort of companions where it's like we're either kind of just really good friends or we're going to teach you something. And I think Bill can actually be kind of a little bit of both because again, she's not sort of as doesn't have as much catching up as maybe Leela had to do, and is pretty smart in her own right, has a lot of interest in things, and it's that's kind of a nice relationship. It's kind of cool. So I was looking forward to the season, series 10, whatever. The Doctor Mysterio Christmas episode was kind of, first two episodes, what, Pilot and Smile, were kind of, again, Peter Capaldi acting far above the writing and stories he got, like Series 8. I felt Series 8 was really not that good, and he really drove it. Jenna Coleman and Michelle Gomez were fun to watch then. Pro Mackey's fun to watch with this, but they're really going above and beyond the material they're getting. I think this was, including the Doctor Mysterio episode and the first two, this was a better direction than the season had been going in the beginning, and I hope it continues along the direction they are going. We had Luna Arya, and then we got a little visit from Shinny. So I'm looking forward to it a little bit more now than I had done in the first couple episodes. I was really worried. So hopefully the rest of this series will be in along the veins of Thin Ice and maybe going up. We can. I also enjoyed the fact that there was less Nardole in it. I mean, he was all right in a one-off with the Marriage of River song, and okay as sort of like a temporary placeholder kind of companion, but having him still kind of in it and turning from sort of comic relief to now nagging nanny. If you don't know what to do with the character, don't put him in. Or if you got to put him in, just have like they did with this like scene kind of thing. If you don't know what to do with him, and just move on from it. Find some way to get him out of there if you don't know what you're doing with him. So yeah, that's that. Thin Ice, episode 3, series 10, Doctor Who. I'm gonna miss Peter Capaldi. I really liked him. I was kind of hoping it would be sort of, you're gonna pry this role for me for my cold dead hands sort of thing. Because I really, even with the poorer writing and storytelling, I still enjoy him as the Doctor. So I hope the rest of the series goes really well for his sake. Because as I mentioned before, sort of the callback, I don't want him to be sort of the Colin Baker, where a lot of good potential and it was sort of squandered and thrown away. Colin Baker sort of didn't get taken really seriously, part of it because of the outfits, and some of the stories weren't really that great. But he really had the potential to be a really good Doctor. I think if nothing else, then the Big Finish audio sort of proved that. But if you go back and watch Colin Baker and sort of ignore the clothes, he's actually a pretty good Doctor. And I just think he really got kind of shafted in his tenure. And I was afraid of that for Peter Capaldi during Series 8. Series 9 kind of changed my mind from that a little bit. And then beginning of Series 10, we're like, oh man, come on. You're doing pretty well there, for a while. Let's keep going with him having a good run. So hopefully this goes back to him having a good run. So I repeated myself variously for the past almost 13 minutes now. Thank you very much for watching, listening, and putting up with it. Pure and simple truth is really pure and never simple. The Oscar Wilde shirt that I'm wearing right now, because quite frankly, I haven't changed out of my pajamas. So yeah, enjoy the beauty of that. Thank you very kindly, and please like, subscribe, and do all that fun YouTube-y stuff. Bye, 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 bye.